it's a Friday when you're listening to this. I don't know if Fridays get you in a good mood because you're like, man, I don't have to work, got a weekend off. Like, this is what you have. What are you doing with this opportunity? What legacy will you leave with that opportunity? So do good things with it.
Good morning, James Chapman. How are you?
Man, I'm phenomenal.
Yes, sir. Every
Crushing
day.
this. Yeah, it's a short week, man. A little Labor Day action. I took the day off. I enjoyed myself. It was really nice.
Dude, and that's something in itself, isn't it? Taking a day off and just enjoying it for a minute.
Yeah, I said I was not going to review. I was not going to look at my email at all. I disconnected for the whole weekend,
Well,
and came back Tuesday to 268 emails. It's like, yeah.
nice.
Now to some folks out there, those are rookie numbers,
Right. Yeah.
but to me, that's a lot.
Yeah. No, that's definitely that's a good dude. I don't know if I can do it, dude. Every time I wake up and every time I go to bed, it's always I'm clearing them out. So I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine having to come back to 200 emails. The majority of that shit would just be highlighted and
Deleted.
open.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Mm,
Yeah, it gets a little overbearing at times, but man, I don't want to complain about emails or the phones ringing.
that's right.
We'll take both.
Yes, sir. Every
Usually
day.
those leads to me getting, I like it when I have a check that I'm signing on the back.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always good when I got a check I'm signing on the back. There's plenty going out where I'm signing on the front. Phone calls, emails usually help me get more checks where I get to sign on the back. I like that.
Amen to that. And you know, we went out to Tybee Island this weekend with my family for like our annual trip. And dude, I was able to maintain somewhat of a schedule for myself. I woke up early before everybody else. I went downstairs, I went outside, and I just worked. It was just like I was able to hone in for a solid 2 hours before everybody woke up. And then, once everybody kind of got going and stuff, it was a little bit different. But I was able to manage at least 2 hours of work every day. And whereas normally it's like throughout the day, I'm still handling stuff and doing stuff, which there was a little bit of that, but I'm getting to the point now where I'm able to start disconnecting on vacation, and it's
Mhm.
super. It's good for me, I think.
Yeah.
Because prior to it, I mean, obviously I did work all week, all
Mhm.
weekend, but um, I think mine is like if I disconnect too far, I feel like I feel antsy about it.
Mhm.
But if I have a little bit of like I'm able to knock things out while I'm doing like while I'm on vacation, it's I can put it at ease knowing that I've handled what I needed to handle for the
Yeah.
most part. So
It's interesting this came up. So I operate the same way. I just at least at a minimum I want to touch for a little bit. Like when I go on, if I'm gone for a week, every morning I'm usually getting up before anybody. I always have a little bit of a chill morning. It's the way my
mhm,
house works. So my wife and kid it's chill in the morning. So I
yeah,
like to sip a little coffee. I'll check some emails, make sure all the trains are still running on time, so to speak, right? And that keeps me connected. If I disconnect completely, I come back and I'm just like it's like anything else. Like if you're doing something every day and then you just stop doing it for a week, you're going to struggle getting back in the groove of it.
mhm,
I like staying connected, but it's funny. So my VP of operations, Holly, she's about to be gone for a week. She's like, I'm trying to get all this stuff done before I'm going. I'm like, well, get it fucking done,
mhm,
crush it. And I said, but do you have email on your phone? And she's like, I can't do that. I said, well, you're not required to. She goes, I can't do that. I'm the type, though, if I look at my email and I see something, I'm going to stress about it. I'm going to think about it the rest of the day. She's like, I have to completely disconnect. So, what I liked about that when she said that, she knows who she is.
mhm,
She's like, I got to get it as far as I can before I go because when I go, I'm going to disconnect. And she should. And if that's the
yeah.
way she works, more power to her. just set yourself up so it can be so. But I like that of knowing who you are.
Mhm.
I'm opposite. I got to touch it just a little bit here or there. I can totally disconnect for 3 days. More than that, man, it doesn't, at the pace I run, I'll lose that pace,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. We're similar in that aspect. We're similar in that because I've got to this trip here allowed me to see what I need specifically for me to be able to be present in what's happening, right? Because I was at the beach. I was at the beach. I did pick up a few calls here and there just to kind of, because obviously you've got people who need to have questions or answers, right?
Right.
But overall, it was disconnecting. The last trip
Mm-hmm.
I went on with Carly's family, Bill, um, I was able to touch a little bit, but I try to disconnect as much as possible. And I did find myself like, even though I was doing other things, I was thinking about it. So I
Mm-hmm.
wish now that I know where I'm at, I know for a fact I can dive in, hammer out what I need to hammer out for a solid 2 hours or so, or whatever it is in that little morning piece before
Mm-hmm.
everybody gets situated, and then I can be 100% focused. So,
So when we were driving up, Danny actually, she got on my ass on the way up. We went out of town this past weekend. Went up
mhm,
to big family reunion that's been at this location. I think it was this 37-year anniversary, which I think they're wrong on. I think it's actually 39. But um, regardless, we were on the way up. I got two different phone calls from the office. Answer both, helped out. And she was like, she's pissed. She's just like, yeah, you can't disconnect. We were just sitting here conversating, and then you took a call. Okay, fair enough. But we weren't like having a deep family conversation. We were just really driving down the road chatting a little bit.
yeah,
She was picking up her phone, kind of glancing at social media some as we were. So I was like, I do not comprehend the issue here. She was legit pissed.
mhm,
I was like, I'm not following you. Like, what in the hell is going on? And but that's how she's different. She likes to completely disconnect. She wanted me to disconnect. Hey, if you're gonna work till 8 o'clock at night and that's the way it is, and you say you're gonna be at home at 8, or you say you're gonna be home at 6, I'll leave you alone. Be there when you say you're gonna be there.
mhm,
And when you're home, be done. If you need to continue to work, then stay and work. And I just don't really work though. I'm like, okay, well, it's just two calls that came into me. I'm taking the whole day off. Like, who gives a damn? It was two 5-minute calls. Who cares? But it mattered to her like a lot. And I still struggle to get my head around that. I'm like,
yeah,
look what it's affording us to do. Like, look at all the things it affords us to do. So I got to grab a random call here or there. Who gives a shit? She gives a shit.
yeah.
And
It's
I struggle with that. Like, that still in my mind, I still am not following. I'm not calling her wrong. I'm just telling you, I don't get it.
well, but that's the thing is a lot of times Carly is similar in that aspect. Um, but now that she is having to operate at a little bit higher of a level,
Mm-hmm.
she's starting to see the benefit in this whole aspect, right? If you've got to take the call, you got to take a call. Like sometimes when work is popping up, you've got to be able to handle it, right? Because that's what sets the tone, and that's what changes. That is what separates those folks who are able to do the disconnection piece and not have to, like, you call them, they're not picking up, and you're like, damn, whatever, and you move on. But the person who picks up that call is usually the person who's going to be able to solve the situation, or at least you're putting people at ease, knowing
Mm-hmm.
that you're there, right? I
Yeah.
don't I don't really know where I was going with that whole aspect of things, but it's I can understand the concept of what you're saying. Of I don't understand it, but
Yeah.
there's a reason why there's the separation in thoughts.
And the people that called me knew I was out.
Mhm,
So they called me for a purpose.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Wasn't to
mhm,
chit chat. They knew I was out. It wasn't a client calling me. It was people on my team that
right.
knew. So it's like, okay, well, I've offloaded work to them. They're stuck on that piece of work. They need my 2 cents. but still, it's just different. It's like, there's no barrier. She doesn't see it as a complete. I'm like, to me, I'm just like, well, this is the, the cost
Yeah.
extent, and it's not a high cost in my
No.
mind. But I guess my thought is, so if it's a high cost to her, should it be a high cost to me?
Well, you're not the same person.
I know, but we are married. We are joined as one, right? Like
Yeah.
if I had to choose between my business or my marriage right now, one's got to end. Which one do you think I'm going to pick? The
Right.
business, right? So to that, doesn't mean I'm naive that everything comes before the business, but or everything in that should come before the business because it provides everything we have. But I don't know, man. Like I was not on the same page. We moved on, of course. I mean,
Right.
it wasn't like it was like a knockdown drag or anything. She just didn't like it. She's just like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
And I was going,
But you've got to
I don't
have that.
understand what you don't understand. Like, I'm not following you here. I do not see what the issue was.
Yeah. Well, and that's the importance of different thought processes. Like that's the importance of having the opposite,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it allows you to have this thought process of where am I moving, right?
Yeah.
Where it allows you to have a different perspective of what's happening. And it's not right or wrong. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And you've got to just figure out what it means.
But I will say, man, it is surprising me, like looking back over time, like before I had a kid, I don't remember what I did with all my time. I don't
Mhm.
remember what we did with all our time, Danny and I. Now we got a kid, and now she's pretty self-sustaining. There's a little bit more freedom, but it is surprising how it seems like if there's time squeeze, it's always on the time between my wife and I. And I don't like that. I don't like that that's the case. So it's like, okay, how do you make the little moments connect a little bit more special? Because it's tough at times. The business is demanding a lot from me now. And I do not want to deny it because it is not it's 20 years in the business. This is the opportunities I've been waiting for.
Yep.
This is it.
It's not what you've been waiting for. It's everything you've been working up to.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. So it's like, okay, well, I don't want to deny that, and so it's interesting how even though the longer things go on, I feel like I do get smarter, I do get more clever, I do get more honest with myself about things, better understanding myself, trying to better understand the people around me and situations, and just becoming wiser, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
But it's surprising how it still surprises me from time to time. It's like, man, I should not be dealing with these same issues. I should have this figured out by now, right? But the challenge changes. The
Mm-hmm.
environment changes around it. The situation changes, and the results change from it. And it's like, damn, you would think this is just easier, but things still occur. I mean, still make it difficult. Still things you have to work through and figure out.
Yeah. It's just, I think the complexity of what the challenge is changes, right? Just because there's more stuff added on to the hot dog.
More stuff added onto the hot dog.
Yeah, it's a saying. You don't know about it, but it's a saying. Because you start out with a plain hot dog with ketchup and mustard,
Yeah.
and then as you start building the hot dog up, you're getting a lot more on top of it. You're getting the sauerkraut, the relish. You're getting a
Yeah.
whole
The
bunch of,
Chicago dog.
yeah. You're getting a whole bunch of other toppings that you've been wanting, but now that you got them, now it's a hell of a challenge to eat that hot dog.
Well, you saying that made me think of, varsity, they call it a naked dog.
Mm-hmm.
Naked dog, right? I had varsity Friday. And for you folks that don't know, varsity is a small chain now. I say it's a small chain. I don't know how many locations they have. What, 5 maybe?
Yeah.
But varsity is like 100-year-old restaurant that started out downtown Atlanta. It's right across the road from Georgia Tech. And it's just a phenomenal place. If you're ever in Atlanta, you need to make a trip. It's hamburgers and hot dogs, but this joint's huge, and literally there's crowds of people in there, and the people behind the registers are screaming out, "What do you have? What do you have?" And you're like walking up to the register, paying, ordering your foods, and like it's like organized chaos in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't eat hot dogs from there, even though I love hot dogs. But I will destroy their chili cheeseburgers. Usually when I go in there, dude, I get 3 chili cheeseburgers and a fry.
Guaranteed.
God, so fucking good.
Amen to
So
that.
good.
Amen to that.
Yeah. God, I love it. So I had that Friday. I ate like a fat kid, dude. It was a treat. You can't eat that stuff all the time.
No, you can't.
It'd kill you. It'd
Yeah.
kill you. But God, it's so good on those rare occasions. So
Making me hungry.
now I can't stop thinking about varsity.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Anyways, folks.
So we took a moment for varsity. Thank you.
If you haven't been, you need to go. And if you are in town or if you're stopping by Georgia, stop by Atlanta and get you a varsity dog or a hamburger. They do a hell of a job.
Yeah, and any of their locations, the food's the same, but the experience of the Atlanta location is something to behold.
It's Atlanta wrapped up in a little tiny restaurant.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't know if you're
you'll
going
be
to
in
get
line
or shot.
Yeah, you'll be in line. There'll be a college kid. There'll be a guy wearing, a $2,000 suit, right? It's on a quick lunch break, and then there'll be a homeless guy who just collected change by to give him a hot dog.
Guaranteed.
All right there together.
It's all right there.
Ready to order. Yeah.
All right there, ready to go. Perfect example of Atlanta.
Yeah.
But as far as everything goes, guys, we want to say that we appreciate you for taking the time to listen. We want to appreciate all the feedback that you have given, also all the love that you guys have done with the podcast, sharing it out, getting people to actually listen to us, which is the craziest part. With all that being said, do not forget to check out our sponsors, Jocko Fuel and Origin USA. At checkout, get yourself a nice little code of GRIND10, the GRIND10. If you have any questions and you're having trouble, let us know. We can get it fixed for you.
Hey,
go ahead.
I cut you off. My bad. No, man, you're in your spill.
That's it. It was done.
I was done. God, I just know your body so well. Here's quote I got the other day. Loved it. It's from Margaret Mead, which normally if I'm going to spit out a quote, I usually like try to look at the person because I don't know if there's some whack job, right? I don't know Margaret Mead. I didn't look her up. But her quote is, "We have nowhere else to go. This is all we have." And I like that from the aspect of how many times do we waste opportunities or look at things or just sit on them, not do stuff, complain about them when, hey, look, like this is what you have and it's in front of you. What are you doing with it? This is the one life you have. I said the Labor Day was good. Actually, Labor Day was not a good day for me. On Labor Day, I watched my grandmother pass away. I was in the room. Thankfully, she was 96 years old, had an amazing life. She was an amazing woman. My dad called. She wasn't looking good. I made it there within 5 minutes of me getting there. She passed away. It was that quick. And she just drifted off. And that was it. And as heartbroken as I was, it's like, God, how amazing is it that she was able to live that full life and then literally have her family around her, kissing her head, whispering in her ear, telling her how amazing of a woman she was. My dad telling her how great of a mom she was, and being there as she just drifted away. And I looked and I was so sad because I was like, man, she's so old and so feeble and just, she's at rest now. Like it's horrible. But how amazing, right? With all the other things that could happen out there. And, so like, this is what you have. Like, what are you doing with it? What are you doing with it? Like, I remember after I left, when it was all done and we all were kind of leaving, headed back home, arrangements got to be made, that kind of stuff. And I left and I remember driving home and looking, like the trees were like, just the wind was blowing and the leaves were kind of floating around. I was just like, man, this is amazing. This is amazing. Like I got another day with another breath. So this is all you have. So remember that, make something of it. Yeah, it's a Thursday. Maybe it's a Friday when you're listening to this. I don't know if Fridays get you in a good mood because you're like, man, I don't have to work, got a weekend off. Like, this is what you have. What are you doing with this opportunity? what legacy will you leave with that opportunity? So do good things with it.
Amen to that.
Grinder out.